Coming up on this episode of the Spiro Podcast.
Prioritizing your time and your focus can just lead to monumental change in your business.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magwell.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform. It's designed to help you manage your day-to-day business, whether you're a small boutique real estate photographer or a regional company serving multiple markets. It's designed to help you grow and scale and manage your day-to-day business. I'm Craig Magrum, host of the podcast. Welcome back to those of you that have watched or listened before. If you're a first-time viewer or listener, we welcome you. The whole idea of this podcast, just to give you a quick recap, is to help you build a strong business. Lots of great resources out there on the creative side of what we do as real estate media professionals, but we want to help you really build a strong business as well and invest in you as a business leader, a business owner. So that's the gist of it. Here each week to help us dive into those topics, our owner and founder of Spiro and co-host Todd Kivimaki. Welcome back, Todd.
Craig, it's fabulous to be here. We've got a great week here. We've got a few topics today, so this will be a round robin, which will be fun. And, we had some great feedback from all you. Thank you. That just means the world to us. It's so great to hear from you all. So please don't hesitate. If you are saying, hey, how do I contact you? You can always leave a message, down below if you're watching on YouTube. You can email us, hello@spiro.media. Also, if you are using Spiro for your software, for your business, you can join the Spiro Super User Facebook group. Jump in there. There's a lot of great content, a nice, rich community in there of people helping people, not just about Spiro, but about real estate, business, photography questions. So again, find us on any of those channels, whatever works for you. We love to hear from you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we started a new feature to the podcast last week. We are giving away, as long as it lasts in my collection, books on leadership and business ownership and topics like that. So we had a winner last week. We're going to get to that, and we're going to announce this week's book as well. But before we do, Todd, we always like to give some updates on what's happening with the Spiro software. So what do we have this week?
Yes, I'll echo what we gave last week. We are working on how you can sell better and more on the order page. We're giving you a landing page for your order pages, i.e. residential, commercial, short-term rentals, or Airbnbs, whatever you like to call them. Any other type of products you might be doing. We hear about headshots. We hear about your luxury video services, whatever you want to sell. If you have an order page for it, you can advertise it on a landing page. And that landing page can be the start of the ordering process for your clients. And then reviews. Really excited about this one, Craig. So how did you do on the shoot? Were they happy? Were they not? If they weren't happy, then we need to give them this type of messaging. You're probably going to say, hey, call us, we'll fix it. If they are happy, let's ask them for a Google, Facebook, whatever review you want. Ask them for a review.
That's great.
And try to get you those reviews. We look at website traffic. We look at the top of the funnel a lot at Wow Video Tours, our real estate media company. We have a full sales team, and we look at how we sell. How do we sell over 12,000 a year and 12,000 shoots a year and continue to grow? Well, it's because we focus on it. The podcast is going to go into some of that today, but what you focus on will expand. And how can you put more people into the top of the funnel? Well, we have to know what people are thinking. And when they think highly of us, let's get a review so that they can influence others. So Some exciting things coming up here. We've got a list of other things as well, but those are the highlights. At least that's what I'm excited about. And that is coming the first week of March 2025. Awesome.
That's fantastic. Reviews are huge, and word of mouth is huge as well. Just a quick testimony, Todd. I picked up soon to be new client to us in my market. And I was at a regional meeting for this brokerage, and she reached out to me afterwards and said, I've just heard so many good things about you and working with WOW from other agents in this brokerage. And I just wanted to connect. And I said, great, let's do coffee. I'd love to get to know you and your business a little bit better. And so reviews are great. Word of mouth is really powerful as well. I mean, that was an easy ad. She reached out to me.
Wow.
So
yeah.
Making those connections and building those relationships just pays off in droves. So, all right.
It does.
All right. One more question for you, Todd, before we dive into the book giveaway and then our main topic. The Spiro Summit, that's been mentioned in a past episode or two. What is the Spiro Summit and who can attend?
Yeah, so the Spiro Summit right now, to be transparent with you all, was just an idea we have. And it's so great to hear from you all just through this podcast. I mean, who thought, Craig, you started this thing. We've been doing it for a couple years now. And it's amazing just the feedback and the responses that we get from you all and the love. Thank you for that. The thing is, so right now, the short answer is we do not have a summit planned. We want to plan one, but we want to ask a question before the question. We want to ask what you need, not just in a summit or a gathering. There are events coming up. There's conferences coming up in November. Eli Jones has his planned. It's the first or second week in November, and then PMRE, I believe, is the third or fourth week in November. And those are fabulous to go to. You'll see myself and the team at both of those, maybe Craig this year. But beyond that, that's a time for community, for learning, for gathering. But we understand that there might be a gap in what you need throughout the year. So what do you want to know? And in what capacity? Is it just the podcast? Is it different topics? Do you want to be a part of a community, a group? Do you want individual coaching, team coaching? Do you need help with getting more clients, closing clients? Do you need help with systems and processes? Do you need SOPs? What's an SOP? What did you just call me? Standard operating procedures. Are you trying to grow? So all of those things, what would help us is understanding what you need and what that would look like. We'll continue to bring you great content. I hope that we have the Spiro Summit. The answer is we'll let anybody attend. For Spiro users, we might have some bonuses or maybe a pre-day coming, a MVP day at the beginning of it. But understanding what you guys need helps us greatly so that we can go back to the team. And we have a team of people here between Spiro and WOW that have a ton of real estate photography and real estate industry knowledge. What how we package that up and give it to you and allow you to come in and get what you need is very interesting to us. So we have some ideas, we're planning some things, but we want to know what you want to know. Email us hello@spiro.media or any of those other various ways, but be open and candid. If you don't need another thing, I just like the podcast, great. Just tell us that. We're going to keep doing it. We're not taking it away. We're not going to put it behind a paywall. But we do understand that there is a need for more. And sometimes it's custom and sometimes it's group.
Yep. Good stuff. Okay. Yeah. Somebody had asked the question, hey, is that for subscribers only? So we just wanted to provide some clarification there. So hope that was helpful. All right, awesome. Well, let us move on to the next segment here, the book giveaway. So last week, here, let me grab this. Last week we gave away a book from John Maxwell called "The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication." Here for those of you on YouTube, and we want to say congrats to Gregory W. Of let me try to get this right, of Santa Maria Real Estate Photography in Orcutt, California. Gregory, congrats.
Gregory. He
was our first responder to the question of submitting a question for us to cover here on the podcast. So Gregory asked a great question, Todd, that I've done before. He said, so when you run across bad media, bad photos on the MLS, is it a good strategy to basically to find leads through the MLS and reach out? And if so, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, there you have to be a little particular about your messaging. Craig, can I send this one back to you because this is something you do on a daily basis?
Yeah. So yes, that's a great strategy. I've utilized that before, and like Todd said, messaging is the most critically important part of
really,
you
your
using.
photos are terrible.
Right. So yesterday, actually, I've got a client that he doesn't use us a ton anymore because he's using an inside marketing department at his brokerage, but he still uses us once in a while. I've got a shoot for him coming out. He texted me yesterday and said, "Hey, Craig." Okay, there's no other way to say this. He said, "Hey, I saw some really bad photos on the MLS, and in case you're looking to continue to grow your business, you might want to reach out to this guy. I don't know who he is. I've never met this realtor, but I thought of you immediately. Thank you, Scott. Unfortunately, this realtor is like in our no man's land of our service area, and it's not an area we're looking to grow in. Yeah. But his message, they were really bad photos, Craig. So
that guy and my mother does the same thing.
Really?
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, my mother is a real estate agent. And if you don't take professional photos and you work at her office, you will hear about it from her on Tuesday morning meeting.
Right.
So God love my mother. She's fabulous. But yeah, that guy and my mother keep giving our clients hard times that don't use professional photos and video.
Right. I mean, it's 2025, people. Come on. Anyway, so yes, utilize the MLS. The way I've responded to it when I've seen some bad photos, I'll reach out, whether it's a phone call or an email. A lot of times, I'll admit, I start with the email. If I don't get a response, I might follow up with a phone call. But I'll say, "Hey, I happen to notice your listing on such and such street. Congrats on winning a listing. In this market of limited inventory, that's a feat. Start with positives. Congratulate them. A basic introduction of who you are. Maybe you mentioned some of the other agents that you might serve in their brokerage." And say, "I just happen to notice these photos. If you're looking to expand on the photos that you've provided on this listing, we'd be happy to help you out with that. If you want to sit down for coffee, I'd love to, talk with you about what your marketing needs are. How we're helping some of your colleagues in your brokerage. I absolutely don't." Obviously, don't say your photos are really bad, but just kind of walk around it. And just see what their goals are as a realtor, and can we help you grow, in your branding as a realtor, in trying to win more listings. That's kind of our specialty, and if we can help, we would love to.
Craig, do you adjust that message in a little bit if you see that the days of market, that days on market, is larger as opposed to just listed?
Yeah, I might mention, hey, I happen to see that it's been listed since this date. Seasons change. You might be thinking about updating the photos for the season. We can help you with that as well. So yeah, there's ways to walk around those types of things and do it in a positive, uplifting way. So
yeah, I love what you did there, Craig, with giving the congratulations. Remember, celebrate when your agents get a listing. That's a big win for them. It might be their first listing.
Yeah, those are really fun.
Yeah, they are. Or it might be their first listing at that level. I know we had plenty of times where we would have a client that's like, "Hey, I'm competing for this listing. It's my first listing at this level of price. And what should I do for it?" And then it's so exciting to hear them go in and pitch that media that we've talked about. And then you get the call back and they're like, "I got the listing." So remember, that is a huge win for an agent. It helps your client understand that you understand them. And so celebrate that. Plus, you don't want to lead in with a negative.
Right.
And keep, just like Craig mentioned, keep that conversation short. You don't beat around the bushes. Isn't 30 questions. I was reading an article on this the other day. The 30 questions for the sales process just doesn't work anymore, especially over the phone. So just be quick and to the point. Congratulate them. Tell them what your intentions are and give them an offer. And I'm not saying you have to give them a discount. Just get to the call to action. What are you asking of them?
Right. You bring up an interesting point about the 30 questions doesn't work anymore. I forget where I heard this, but somebody told me you can't sell a salesperson.
Yeah.
Our clients are salespeople. Now they might balk at that and say, no, I'm a consultant. Yes. Same for me. I'm a consultant. I'm not a salesperson.
that further confirms that they're salespeople.
Right. Right.
No, I'm a consultant. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I hope none of those realtors that have had that conversation with me are listening to this. But anyway, I don't even remember what my point was going to be on that. Beating the 30 questions. Just get to the point. Yeah, because you can't sell them. They know the questions. So
just like the YouTube video, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Oh man,
Justine, can you put that in the background right now to make me not sound so dorky?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's such a good video.
Oh, love that one.
Sweet Brown.
We are showing our age with that one, Craig. I think a lot of our listeners are. Well, that's a really big one, but some of them are like, I've never heard of that one.
That one's going to live in infamy. Anyway. Okay. So Gregory, hope that answered your question. It was a great question.
Gregory was the early bird, man. He was Johnny on the spot on that one. Thank you for the question and emailing in to us, Gregory.
Yep. So congrats. He picked up that John Maxwell book. All right. This week's book, so we don't drag this out, is by Pastor Scott Wilson. Now, this is from a Christian perspective. He's a pastor of the lead pastor of Oaks Church in South Dallas, I believe it is. The name of the book is called Impact, Releasing the Power of Influence. Now, great concepts in this book, both as a leader and business development, because you are going to influence clients that you work with, whether it's helping guide them into what services they might need to build their brand or whatever. So great book on the impact that you can have on people. We're going to give that away this week. We're going to do a little bit different this week. You're still going to contact us through the Pink Chat Bubble on Spiro. If you have a Spiro portal, it's free to sign up. So if you don't have one, just go to spiro.media. You can sign up for your free account there, and then you can contact us through the Pink Chat Bubble. And we are going to take the third person. So I'm going back to my radio days, like caller number 7.
I see what you're doing.
Third person to write us. And what was it that we were going to ask? Oh, yeah, just your business question that you would like to see addressed on the podcast. So caller number 3 on the Spiro lines. Just with your business question. If you're responder number 1 or 2, we're still going to answer your business question, but number 3 is going to win this week's book called Impact, Releasing the Power of Influence.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Cool. All right. That takes care of that.
And Craig, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
We mentioned on the first, that's from Craig's personal book collection. Like, he is pulling those off his shelf and he's sending them out to all of you. So thank you for doing that, Craig.
Yeah, no problem. And I think I mentioned this last week. There might be marks in there, underlines. I might have notes in there. Todd, I grabbed one book, and I'm glad I flipped through it because I was in a really raw spot when I was reading a particular book in my life. And I'm like, I don't think I want someone else reading that note right now. So I'm going to have to preview all my notes in some of these books. What was Craig thinking? We all go through those times in life, you know.
We do.
So anyway, okay. Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to do this. All right. So Todd, I believe it was 2 episodes ago, we started to dive a little bit into the topic of time management, and you mentioned that you're working on an exercise of time tracking.
Yes.
And you wanted to dive a little bit more into that, get a little bit deeper into that topic. So I would love for you to kind of set this up and talk a little bit about time tracking in this new year, the impact it can have on your business, on your leadership, and in effective and efficient ways to manage your time as a business leader.
Yeah, Craig, this is one that I've learned over the years, and I've taken from a lot of different coaches and theories and techniques. And it all boils back down to the fact that what you focus on will expand. So if you want more sales, if you focus on sales, that focus will lead to getting more sales. If you need systems, you can't keep track of anything, focus on systems and you'll be organized. Whatever it is in your business, if you focus on it, it will expand. However, life, at least for me, has a bunch of really sneaky little time bandits that like to tell you that they are important, and they're not the most important thing and the thing you should be focusing on. Now, I'm not saying they are not important. However, prioritizing your time and your focus can just lead to monumental change in your business. And I know that sounds, I use the word monumental, it's a sales word, but when I figured this out, and I don't have it all figured out, but when I focused on this and got better at it, I actually got things done. And I got the things done that moved the business along. You know, I'll give you a quick example right now. I posted in the Spiro Super User group just my time tracking. Here's my time tracking. This is how it's done. I've done it now for a couple weeks. And I write down what I do in my workday and in about 15-minute blocks. So I know what I'm doing. And I had a person ask me, you know, what do you find are your time bandits? And that's going to be a little bit different for everyone. But a sneaky one, and I'll give you a great example, is for Spiro, we have chat support. So that little pink bubble. And I have a fabulous team in that pink bubble that are here to help, that are on a lot of hours of the day, and that have a lot of experience in troubleshooting in the system. But one thing that I'll do is I'll go, like I have it up in a tab right now, I'm looking at it, and I will go and look at it, you know, and some tickets are assigned to me, and that's valuable time. One, I love to help. I love to talk to all of you. A lot of my tickets are really just questions from you all. Some of them are more in-depth troubleshooting and system settings. But I find that I can spend too much time in that bubble and I justify it in my brain that I'm helping the clients. And that's 100% true. But the thing that I'm saying no to is the next big update in Spiro. What are we going to do in Q4 of 2025 and beyond? What is the status for, you know, so many different things? Are people empowered? Are they able to do? So I find that some of those tasks that you might be used to. Here's another one, Craig. I was asked this question this week about photo editing. You might be doing your photo editing right now saying that, yeah, I really know what my clients want, and my editors don't do this one little thing that I love to do. And my time, you know, I spend half my day and night editing photos. Well, that's a thought error. That's a time bandit. Another thing is if you are growing your business and you're doing a lot of photographing still. Oh, I have these legacy clients and my VIP clients, and they're only going to want me to take photos and videos of their property. I'm telling you, I'm sorry, I'll be the one to say it. You are lying to yourself. You're wrong. And you are now wasting money by shooting houses.
Wow.
Yes, you are losing money by shooting houses. And what I mean by that is, if you go and shoot that house and you could have paid a photographer $100 to shoot that house, $70, whatever it may be, you just exchanged all of your time to make $25, $30 an hour. You drove around the city and you did not focus on growing your business. So when I look back at WOW, when we grew like a hockey stick curve, it's when I said no to everything else. It's when I said, no, I can't shoot that, but I have a fabulous team that can do that. And that's when we really grew. But what I had to do is I had to carve out space for that. it's weird as a business owner because you have to start saying no to things that you're really used to doing.
Right.
You're comfortable at doing them and you're really good at doing them. So your brain's going to say, hey, you should do these things and you like doing these things. Maybe you like taking all the photography. It's great. I love troubleshooting in the text in the window. I love that. Like I enjoy finding it. Like I don't want to toot my own horn. I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I feel like I can get to an answer right away. And I feel like it's good for me to talk to you all in that pink chat bubble. Mm-hmm. But then I let everybody down because I didn't document this update. And we have a large development team now that we've added to. And do they have enough pipeline? And really the opportunity cost for not giving you guys insane features coming up in 1 month, 2 months, 12 months is a bigger cost for me than to talk to you in the bubble, even knowing I have a fabulous team in there. And the team will come to me when you need me or when they need me. So those are some of my examples of what my time bandits are. I think we shared earlier in a podcast a couple ago, Craig, that those silly little freaking videos on Facebook. I'm not on the Instagram right now because I'm old, whatever. I don't do the Instagram, but I do Facebook because we have groups on there and I talk to you guys in there and I post in there. But man, those videos I don't click them, Craig. I do not click them. Okay, I haven't watched the gangster guy this year. Yeah. I haven't watched the gangster guy that goes, "Hey, you want a slice?" He's so freaking entertaining because how can you give a straight face in that environment? It's beyond me, but I'm just not going to worry about it.
Right.
So I'm going way off course here, but you guys know me by now. But that's what my time bandits are, and you need to find those things where you're like, "Hey, this is good for my business." No, it's not good for you to shoot houses anymore if you want to scale your business.
There's the key that you just said. If you want to scale your business, reality, some of us like a smaller business in the boutique type of model. We like the hands-on, and that's part of why I'm not leading my own business anymore. I had my own business. But I like the hands-on. I like the creativity, the relationship building. And so it's worked out now that I'm working for Wow Video Tours where I don't have the burden of the ownership and the growing of the company. I get to really focus on, pun intended. Did I tell you about
Justin, can we get a snare drum or something?
Did I tell you about the t-shirt? Again, a squirrel moment. The t-shirt that I'm going to have my mother-in-law make me. She's got one of those Cricut things. It says, intend your puns, you cowards. So pun intended. I like to focus on the creative, the shooting, but also building the base of business in my market. Cowards. Intend your puns. Darn it. My gravestone is going to say he was dying to get in here. I told my wife, I want that on my headstone. So anyway. You were going to ask something.
No, I was going to say, can you come up with some sort of punny t-shirt that I can wear in conjunction with your pun t-shirt that we can both debut at the next family gathering?
I'll think of something. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll take a picture of it, send it to y'all.
Those of you that you're going, wait, family gathering, you two together. So our wives are cousins, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
They're going to, our poor wives.
Oh,
anyway.
My goodness, yeah.
So I don't even remember, where was I?
I threw us all off. My apologies.
Yeah, no, intend your puns, you cowards. Focus. Oh, yeah, the key about expanding your business. If that's your goal, then yes, you've got to get your hands off the day-to-day shooting. And I realized that's what my passion is. My passion is not what Todd's passion is. And so you have to look at your individual goals, needs, focuses, and that will shape those time blocks that you're looking at.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it all goes back. We all have to go back to our goals.
Yeah.
That's why we started our business. So thank you for that perspective, Craig.
Sure.
So here I have a list here, and we're going to go through them relatively quickly because we've given a lot today. We've given some good stuff, and we've given some really bad stuff. So hopefully I've given some bad stuff. So here we go. I want you to ask a question. When you look at your calendar, Okay, we're all looking at our calendars, and I want you to look at it in a 2-month time period right now. So over the next 2 months, how balanced is your schedule? Maybe you're way too heavy. You're just trying to cram way too much in. Well, that's going to lead to burnout. Maybe you don't have enough rest or margin in your calendar. I think all of you out there listening, we're a little bit of a different group of individuals because you all are overachievers. Let's be honest. If you're listening to this podcast, you're an overachiever. If you're not, you're probably listening to some book on tape or you're listening to music, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're spending your time trying to figure out how to grow your business, you're an overachiever. And in that, we sometimes like to lie to ourselves and feel like we can do everything. I've tried it. I've done it. I still try it. I still fail at it. And that's when the pressure builds up. Oh, I gave myself a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. And that's when the pressure builds up. And that's when you go, why did I ever start this business to begin with? Wouldn't it be great if I had a 9-to-5 job? Well, remember, you had a 9-to-5 job that you quit to start this business. Yeah. And it's like, wait a minute, let's just get back. Left brain, turn off your left brain. Let's get back to reality. Okay, how can we not go down that road? Well, let's not overcram our schedule. The next question I want you to ask yourself is, do I have enough time to achieve my goals?
Being realistic.
Yeah, this is a big one here, Craig, because if your calendar is packed and you are doing shoots after shoot after shoot, quality control after quality control, answering the phone, who knows what else you're doing. If you are working in your business, then don't be surprised when we get to the end of 2025 and you go, wait a minute, I didn't hit my goals. Or logically, how can we expect to hit our goals if we never put time in our calendar to actually work towards the goal? So that's a super important thing is, do you have enough time? And just a question I get asked all the time is how do you make sure you have enough time? Well, you work it backwards. So I subscribe to a service where they would help you manage your calendar. And I did this for a few months and I learned the technique. It's a great technique. I've taken portions of it. But when you want to achieve a goal, you have to look at what is the end product and then work yourself backwards. Okay, so a question I saw on Facebook this morning. We have 50 clients right now. What's the best sales technique to scale to 100 clients? So you want to grow in 50 clients. Okay, great. What does it take to grow to 50 clients? Ask yourself. Okay, have to build relationships, have to have more people find out about you. There's a million things. Need to do more presentations, attend brokerage meetings, MLS. I need to join the MLS. I need to go to the realtor events. I need to do office drop-ins. I need to do cold calls, Zillow calls. There's a million things. Need to host events. Okay, so how many of those types of activity do you need to do to get one client? Okay, great. I probably need to call them. I probably need to call 10 clients. Okay, 10 to 1. Great. Okay, so how much time do you need to call and follow up with 10 clients? Well, probably about an hour per client. Okay, so I need 10 hours of work to get to one client. Great. So if we want to get to 50 clients, just do the math. So super simple to do. You need to then time block that. So say you need that. My math went wrong here. So 10 to 1, I need to do that 5 times, 50 hours. Maybe my math's off, but it's Friday and I've got too much coffee in me. But say you need 50 hours and you want to get those clients in the next 2 months. Okay, so you better put those time blocks. You have 21 working days per month. If you don't work weekends, you have 41 days and you need to spend 50 hours to make those connections. No problem. You need to spend a little over an hour a day every day doing those activities that you feel as though will lead to you getting those clients.
Right.
So you just need to work it backwards. It's super simple in a 2-month time period. Just put those on your time block. So your time is blocked out. Yes, in your calendar, the calendar that syncs to Spiro, that would actually prevent you from taking a job. Yes, prevent yourself from taking a job, because if you don't, we're going to get 2 months from now and you're going to go, hey, Todd, I didn't get those extra 50 clients. Well, no, all you did was shoot.
Yeah. It's going to be painful for those of us that are used to the production and filling our calendar with those shoots, because that's all we're looking at. It's going to feel painful to block out because you don't want to disappoint a client by not having availability. But in the long run, that it will pay dividends. If you live in an area that's seasonal, here in the north, we're slow between, say, November and mid-March. Take that time to really invest in your business development to grow that number of clients. I mean, you're not shooting anyway, so make the most of it. If you are shooting during the busy season, well, that is what it is, unless you've hired photographers, which would be a good idea if you're looking to scale. But yeah, just look at your cycles. Where can you best use those times?
Craig, that was a fabulous lead into my next question. And we didn't even discuss this off air, but what can I anticipate? Over the next 2 months, what can I anticipate? Yep. Just like Craig said, do you anticipate that the number of jobs is going to go down? Can you anticipate the number of jobs is going to go up? Great. Let's be proactive to it and not reactive. None of y'all should get to middle of February, middle of March and go, hey, I can't believe we're this busy. Well, I mean, let me just warn you, if you don't know what's coming, I have the chart here somewhere on my desk. For the last 21 years, it's been a bell curve. Mm-hmm. It's scaled up, super, super busy. I always say around the Super Bowl time is when everybody starts to wake up here in our part of the country.
Yep.
And it goes until school starts. It's like that every year. It's a bell curve. That's where you're going to do 80% of your jobs.
Right.
So what can I anticipate? The next question, this is a good one. And I got this from Austin Chevron, who he coaches realtors. So I love that he asked this because it's so important, especially being a business owner. How much fuel do I have in my tank? So let's play this scenario, Craig, that you're looking ahead, and we've done that thing where we know we need to devote 50 hours of uninterrupted time to feed people into the top of our sales funnel. Mm-hmm. But you have worked like crazy, and you have left no margin in your schedule. And you're busy, your business is growing. That's a great thing, right? It's exciting. But if you have no fuel left in your tank, you might be able to power through and do it, but it's going to turn you into hating your business.
Yep.
And please don't hate your business. Business, it's not the reason why you started it. Your business can work for you, and you're going, oh, great, Todd. Yeah, you do this. Like, I've been there. I've been down in the dumps. I was 4 or 5 years in. I was shooting almost everything. We were growing like crazy. I was working 16, 18 hours a day, and I was doing everything. I was driving to cities an hour and a half away because they found out about us and they loved what we had. It was exciting to have people from an hour and a half away call like, hey, when can you come and do? I've got 10 properties I need you to do. Literally, like, nobody's doing this. I haven't seen this. Can you come do photos and video for me? Like, yeah, this is why I started this thing. I was doing my own invoicing. I was doing everything. And my wife told me, she's like, you need someone to help you. And you know what I bullheadedly told her? Nobody can help me. Nobody knows how to help me. Nobody's ever going to be able to do it like me. I was convinced.
Yeah.
Literally convinced that nobody could help me. I had such a big thought error and thinking that only like I'm special. I'm not special, y'all. I'm not even that smart. You would, if you really knew me, I'm just a down to earth guy that I believe I can do a lot of things. But I was really bullheaded thinking that nobody could help me. Like, why are you that special, Todd? Like, how is sending someone an invoice for $200 difficult and making sure they pay it? Now, Spiro does that now, but that's beside the point. But and this is going to be tough. You know, Eli Jones talks a lot about this too, that your business is not different than any other business. A lot of times we read.
What? Come on, Todd.
We'll read the E-Myth or you'll read any other type of business book and you'll go, wait a minute, but that industry is not like mine. Mine's really niched. It's just growing. Like they don't know, like mine's different. I don't apply to those theories. Yes, you do apply to those theories. So moving forward here, Craig, and again, I'm being direct today. I do want to come at you with a place of love from my heart, just because if you're like, oh, this is convicting for me. I don't mean to be harsh to you, but sometimes somebody just needs to say, hey, you need to do something different.
You know, actually, Todd, that's a great tie-in back to the book that we're giving away, Impact. The whole point of this is leading from the value of love for people, caring about people. So great book right there.
So 2 more. What do I need to prepare for? This kind of goes along with what can I anticipate? What do you need to prepare for? Do you have a big presentation coming up? Well, you better start now. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of you, and I feel you because I work this way too at times. I've got this brokerage meeting coming up tomorrow. Does anybody have a slide deck? What do you guys recommend I do? What do I take in for food? Well, think of how hard you worked to get that meeting and how excited you were. Mm-hmm. Don't plan for it the day before.
Right.
I get life. Sometimes it comes at you really fast, but when you get that meeting, if it's 1 month from now, 2 months from now, just put 2 1-hour time blocks on your calendar right now. Plan for brokerage meeting. The next week, finalize planning for brokerage meeting. If you're not done on week 2, add another one on week 3.
Yep.
Finally, Craig, this is a tough one for me. I think just our just for people in 2025.
Okay.
What needs removed?
I can't afford to remove anything from my life right now, Todd. It's all critical.
That is yeah, Craig, I tell myself that too. And the thing that you have to tell yourself is if you say yes to everything, you're really saying no to a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And it's worse when you say yes to someone and you let them down rather than you just tell them no. Hey, I'm really sorry. I just don't have, maybe I could do this in 2 months, but I just can't do this right now. I'm so sorry. Maybe I have someone I can refer you to, but you say yes and then you let them down. And then it's that much worse for you as opposed to just telling them no to begin with.
It's about setting boundaries. But to be able to set a boundary, you have to identify what your values and priorities are. So what are those top of line things that you don't want to compromise on? Identify those and then set the boundary around that. Practical example, Todd. I got a new client that was a referral from someone else in the same brokerage that it's her first big listing. It might even be her first listing, but it's a big one, and wanted a Sunday shoot. Now, one of my values is I do not work on Sundays because that is my time for family and that's my time for worship. So I don't make exceptions for that. That's a boundary I've set because of the value of family and worship in my life. And I know there's competitors that do shoot on Sundays. So I'm running the risk that I might lose that business if somebody absolutely has to have it on a Sunday. You have to be okay with what you might lose, but what is it that you're gaining? And to me, the value of building the relationship with my family and my faith, my relationship with God is more important than one shoot that I might lose on a Sunday. So identify your priorities, your values, set your boundaries based on that, and just be okay with the consequences of that.
Yeah. That's a tough decision though, right?
It
Craig?
is. It is. But as it ends up, that person said, I suggested I could do it on a Saturday. I don't like to shoot on Saturdays. Again, that's time for with my family, but I make exceptions because I understand once in a while, that's all the client can do. So I offered a Saturday at a particular time and they said, actually that works. So I didn't lose what my core conviction was on Sundays, and I still was able to then earn the business of that client.
Yeah. That's a higher level technique, Craig.
How so? What do you mean?
Well, what I mean by that, Craig, is the fact that when we start our business, we start it for goals. If we write them down or not, there are goals.
Sure.
And sticking to those goals, we sometimes fool ourselves in thinking that we're going to make an exception to the rule because it helps us get successful in our business, which then in turn allows you to reach your goals. But that's a very slippery slope. That's not true. You all out there, if you have kids yet or not, maybe you don't have them, maybe they're grown, but you only have them for so long.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to have kids, kids are fabulous, but if it's with your spouse, if it's with your family, your mom and dad, y'all are only going to be on this earth so long. Your grandparents, if you're still lucky enough to have them around or young enough, those people are only going to be here so long. And it sounds morbid, it is, but it's reality. And if you always choose your business over those relationships and the reasons why you start your business, it's just a slippery slope. I've been there. I've done it. You turn into your business and you turn into this monster and you're like, hey, I'm doing this for the good. Well, you're going to get to retirement and you're not going to have any energy left and you're not going to know your wife.
Yeah.
You're not going to know how to spend time with your kids. Your kids are going to be like, why weren't you at my games? Why weren't you at the band concert? Well, because you fooled yourself and you told yourself that you were working every waking moment right now to get to something that you're never going to get to. And I can raise my hand to say I fail at this too. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to myself. I was flying out to the conference 2 years ago and I listened to a podcast and literally made me break down. It's like when talked about spending time with his wife and family. And I was just so convicted because I had in my head that I was building Spiro right now and I had another business and I was going morning to night and I was excited because it was ramping up, but I just let down my family.
Yeah.
And I just felt that conviction. Like I haven't had dinner with my wife, just my wife. I couldn't remember the last time. I was starting to get angry that the kids wanted to play with me. If you're a father and you get angry when you walk in that your kids run to you, you need to reevaluate your life.
Yeah.
Like, why my kids run to me? And I'm like, why are they running to me? Like, don't they know what I went through today? Oh, those are some tough things, Craig. But those are some things that we need to evaluate as business owners. And if you need someone to talk to, find someone to talk to.
Yeah.
If it's just you, that's a lonely place. Find someone that you can confide in.
Yep. The importance of surrounding yourself with people that will speak life into your life is critically important. I had a great conversation on Facebook with somebody that's, said, how do you deal with being hard on yourself? So the number one thing is surround myself with people that won't be as hard on me. They'll speak truth into my life, but they'll give me more grace than I give myself sometimes. So surround yourself with good people that will speak some life-giving things into you.
Yeah, agreed.
And correct you when you need correcting in a loving way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Just one last thought I have here for you guys with what needs removed. My last question. Craig, do you know how many minutes are in a day?
Don't ask me to do math.
1,440 minutes. 1,440 minutes. And if you sleep 8 hours, 6 times 8, 480, you've got about 1,000 left that you're awake. Think of how many times you let a minute go by. Look at the activity thing on your phone. How many minutes did you spend browsing the internet, social media? Did you fool yourself? Oh, I was helping clients. Well, were you really? Were you watching those sneaky little videos? You've got 1,440 minutes in a complete day. You need to sleep. You need to eat. You need to spend time with your family. And you need to prioritize your schedule to have enough of those minutes that help you reach your goal, that work on things that are going to guide you and direct the ship towards what you feel as though success is for your business, so that you can look back and say, yeah, I started this for a reason. And you know what? My business worked for me.
Not much to add to that. It's pretty to the point.
And again, I apologize for being to the point today, but these are all things that I work on these things every day, guys. This is stuff that I focus on because I know if I don't, I'm going to screw it up.
And we all do. We all do. Mm-hmm. It's good reminders. This week especially, I've been focusing on trying to minimize the distractions, and it's amazing how much more you get done. The momentum you build when you really start being aware of your time and being purposeful with your time, that momentum just builds, and yes, the ball just keeps rolling.
It does.
Makes it a lot easier. Todd, thank you. Great insight this week.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you all for sticking with us.
Yeah. Yep. Some rabbit trails. I know some people that drives them up a wall, but this is just real life, real conversation. We got to have some fun while we're talking the seriousness of business as well, because it is just real life. Yeah. A couple of guys from the cornfields of Northwest Ohio. It is what it is. So thank you for indulging us and watching and listening. We do appreciate you guys. All right. Well, Todd, unless you have anything to add, I think that's going to wrap things up this week.
Yeah, that's it for me. Just don't be too hard on yourself. One little step at a time.
Right.
It takes time to break those habits and to build new ones.
It does. We'd love to hear what habits you're working on building. Time. Maybe you want to share some of your time sucks. What's been stealing moments from your day, and how are you addressing that? Drop us a line, hello@spiro.media. You can send us a message, in the pink chat bubble. Well, maybe not the pink chat bubble. That's more for help. Join the Spiro Super Spiros. The
Super Spiroers.
So yeah,
in
right.
In the Spirosphere. Steve came up with that one.
I like it.
Isn't that good? The Spirosphere?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking over again.
And or you can leave us a comment on YouTube, but we'd love to hear, what are your time bandits and how are you addressing those? And maybe someone else is going to say, yeah, that's mine too. That's a great idea on how to address it. It's a community, guys. It's a community. So let's help each other build some great businesses in the real estate media profession. So thank you. If you found value in this, give it a like, share it, all those things that YouTubers say. we just really appreciate that. Can you tell how relaxed we are about this? Anyway, that's all I've got this week. Make sure you take some time that maybe you identify on your time tracking sheet to be thankful for the blessings in your life, and make sure you take a breath this week. Have a good one.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.